Hi YouTube, Phil here with A Life of Adventures, and this video is going to be about not the trailer itself, but some of the things that are going to go into the trailer. And last week I took delivery of what you're looking at in front of you, and that's a Renogy 200 amp hour battery that is really heavy. That's 130 pounds worth of battery there. And I sized what it's going to take for me to run the electrical system in my trailer to have the things in it that I want. And a 200 amp hour battery will run it fine just by itself. I'll only use about 30 amp hours a day. And in an amp hour battery, in sizing things, you only can use half of the battery, so it'd be 100 amp hours is all you can use with it not being charged. So with me only using about 30 hours a day, I can go for 3 days without charging the battery at all. So that'll, if I'm moving one day or I don't get sun one day or a couple of days, I can still do everything I'm normally going to do and still have enough battery power to handle what I'm going to do. The only problem is once I put it in, I can't move it myself. I'll have help putting it in, and then it'll just stay where I put it on the inside. This is an AGM battery. It doesn't require any maintenance, so that's another thing. And it should last me 4 or 5 years with that. And I'm going to go then to full lithium battery. And I'll probably cut them down so I have a battery bank of 2 batteries of 100 instead of one of 2. So it's easier for me to move things. And what I did is I wanted to experiment, if you would, and set up basically the start of my electrical system. And so what I did, one of the things that you have to have, there will be 3 different ways I could charge this battery. One way to charge the battery is through a landline. You just have an electrical cord that comes in and it goes through a controller. And this is the controller that I'm using. I'll leave a link in the description. And this is a Norco Genius. It's a 7200. It's sized exactly for a 200 amp hour battery. And it's been doing well. It's been up and keeping it running for about a week now with no problem. You leave it on all the time. It maintains it at a full level constantly. And it just comes in power off the wall, and it'll come through the trailer that way to do it that way. That's one way of charging the battery. Another way of charging the battery will be through a solar charger coming in from solar panels. And I'm going to have 3 100-watt solar panels that will feed through a charge controller, and it'll charge the battery the same way. And the third way you can charge it is you can charge it from your own battery in your car or in your vehicle, in my case, as you're going down the road, and just as the way your car charges your battery in your car, you can run another line back and charge this battery and keep it charged the same way. So there's 3 different ways you can charge this battery that will work. Most of the time I will be using solar battery, be using solar charging to keep this battery full. And then I set up here, one of the things that I got, again I was going to experiment, I just wanted to put something together to do this. I'm going to try not to blind you here, but you can see that this is actually an LED light. You can see how small they are and things, but they honestly, I have no light on in here. This is a utility room. It's almost identical in size to what the size of my trailer is. And you can see how light it is in here. You can see everything with no problem. And this will be one of the lights that I will have in the trailer that I'll use basically in the front, where I'm going to have the kitchen and where, I'll be entering in most of the time. And, just so it's there to do, the hard utility work. And then I'll have more of mood lighting, or softer lighting if you will, back in the back where I sleep, and I'll probably spend a lot of time, so I won't be in this glaring white light all the time. But the way this works is the battery is where the energy is stored, and then it comes out of the battery and it goes over to this device right here, and that's a battery cutoff switch. That allows me to cut the power off to everything that's in the trailer that's being run directly off of 12 volt. And then from the cutoff switch, it comes off to this distribution box, which is a fused box. It has fuses for each individual line in here, and then this is negative in the top. Bottom is positive coming in from the battery, and then all your lines will come back to here. And I did the first line out of here. One of the things that I did was I split this off, and it comes up and it drives this 5 switch system. So I can put 5 different things on a switch if they need a switch. A lot of things won't need to go through this because they'll have switches closer on them to run the devices. So you won't have to use, you'll use the switch on the device to shut the device off, not a switch. But with these particular lights that I'm using here, they don't have a switch on them, so you need to put them on a switch. And so this switch is just a toggle switch, and you turn it off and you turn it on. So basically that's the core of what the electrical system will look like in the trailer. And the only difference is, it works very similar to what you have in a house. The only difference is this one will run off of a battery that's constantly charged, as opposed to just running straight 110 line in. This, of course, is a 12 volt system. So this is the kind of project I'm going into now because, frankly, we're talking a lot of snow this week in Fargo, and it's also going to start getting real cold. So me working on the trailer outside for the next several months is going to be hard, but I'm accumulating all these things that I'll just be able to pick up, take, and put in the trailer, touch up a little and go. So I've got all the shelving built and my bed built and everything like that. And I'll show you more of that later, when it gets around that time and things. But I've got those things built, and that's what I've been doing, frankly. So goodbye for now. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.